be here. A little over 3 years ago, my children and I were living in a one-bedroom apartment in downtown Tacoma. And my working full-time wasn't even keeping a roof over our heads, barely. Against every fiber in me, I applied for public housing and wanted to move to Salishan. The idea of rent based on my income sounded appealing, but moving to Salishan was pretty scary to me. I've lived in Tacoma my entire life, and Salishan's reputation weighed heavy on me. Furthermore, one of my children was showing signs of the whole gangster deal, and I felt that living here would only further entice her. The day I got my keys, I was thrilled. It was like being on Extreme Home Makeover. It was so big and so new and had the new house smell. It was great. And I was liberated for the first time in 37 years. I was able to be a single mom that could afford rent. I made a firm resolve at that time to keep to myself, to deadbolt the door and create a compound, kind of an isolated Eden. But as it is when you have kids and you live in a neighborhood with kids, you have to build a community with your neighbors, unless you can afford enough classes, sports teams, or video games that allow you the luxury of selecting your children's friends based on mutual interests. As it stood, that wasn't an option for me or most of my neighbors, and actually not part of most of the culture that my neighbors come from. I stand here before you really glad not to have stayed isolated. Going out and meeting the neighbors has changed and enriched my children and my life more than I can say. Living in Salishan, I have met and learned more about the diversity of our world, the beauty of our differences, yet how much alike we really are as parents and neighbors. I don't speak Samoan or Russian or Cambodia, but I know when a parent is giving her kid a good tongue lashing. Or when I need to schmooze up to the Samoan family who does the best barbecue in Salishan and will feed anyone who smiles at them. In Salishan, I learned how to talk to strangers even when you don't speak the same language. We have a community garden where I learned from my Korean friends how to grow weird little onions. I met a lady that's lived in Salishan for over 40 years. Her dad worked in the railroads. She's seen Salishan through all the stages and says it's such a nice place to raise children and flowers. We hold a community kitchen twice a month in which at least 30 of us and growing cook and eat together, even with the food we've grown ourselves. I cook with people I probably would have never even sat and eaten with. Our Salishan Community Association received a grant and brought in over 200 goats that ate tons and tons of blackberries and everything they could get their little mouths on to roughen the walking trail that's going to eventually go along First Creek. The kids loved that, and actually we all loved it. And when do you see goats and shepherds on the east side? We've had treasure hunts, free movie nights, neighborhood cleanups, neighborhood patrols. There's even a new farmer's market. We have one of the few communities in which the homeowners and renters work together. Not to mention all the up-and-coming endeavors, which you can check out for yourself. There's a booth and a lot of connections to be made. I could go on, but I'm not here to sell you Salishan. It isn't for sale. The most priceless things are the things you'll never get to see unless you live here. It's me forgetting to take out my trash and my neighbor takes it out for me. It's having my neighbor bring me food because I need to put some meat on my bones. It's hearing the kids tell other kids to pick up their trash or stay out of the flowers. You swear you've told them a million times and they weren't listening. It's watching the kids skateboard through the streets, showing tricks, acting up, just being kids. 2 winters ago, it was really snowy. There must have been 15 kids in laundry baskets sledding down the boulevard in the moonlight. It was so Norman Rockwellish. I felt more community with people with whom I don't even speak the same language, or even the people that do speak the same language, but I can't figure out for the life of me where they come from. And knowing when I need to, I have people within the Salishan Community Association and Tacoma Housing Authority that have my back when I ask, and who want to see what we all know now, not to just be a hope project. This Salishan translates from the Salish tribe to mean people of many colors. What we have here is a community of the future unfolding right before us. That's it.